Hi campers, it's AJ here, and I wanted to take a minute to share with you all my end of the day routine. Earlier this month, I posted that it was my goal for the month of July, while we're doing this camper challenge, to get back to my end of the day assessment of my body and my mind, as well as make sure that I'm doing what I need to take care of balancing really busy days with lighter days. So for me, that means just asking myself at the end of the day, after I've showered, time before bed, was this a particularly heavy day? If it was, for me, that will often mean all I'm gonna do is spend some time with my legs up the wall or literally up the furniture. So you can imagine that. You can find that for yourself. If you've been moving, you've been to yoga classes, maybe you went for a long run, that's just what you need to do for yourself. Being still is a good thing. If I was a little more sedentary in the day, I might spend 5 to 15 minutes of a little bit of yoga, some stretching down on the ground. Again, nothing fancy. I may or may not roll out my mat. More often than not, I'm just going to do it either on my bed or on the floor by my bed. So whatever my body's feeling like, but it's usually very low to the ground, a lot of seated postures, a lot of on my back. The other thing that I do, whether I've been busy or not so busy, is I might do some foam rolling. So this is for loosening muscles, some tightness, releasing some tightness, releasing the fascia, which there's a whole long explanation of what that is. But the simple is, it's self-massage. So there are several ways to do this, and that's what I really want to talk about today and give you some demonstrations. So the first and easiest step that anybody could do, because they have access to it, is you'll need a tennis ball or a golf ball or a lacrosse ball or a massage ball, anything that's kind of hard. And starting with the feet, we've done this in my class before, but I'll demonstrate on the tennis ball because it's a little easier to see. I recommend keeping a tennis ball or a golf ball literally in your couch. Like, just stick it on the side of the couch, stick it near it, your chair, wherever it is that you end your day. And what I'll do is I'll sit here and give a demonstration on one side, but you should be sure to pause this video and do both sides if you're going along with me. So finding your tennis ball, finding the space near the ball of the foot, but maybe just underneath, not quite the arch, and you're gonna evert and invert the foot back and forth, just working on this. Now again, the easiest way to do it is to do it seated. If you need a little bit more pressure, maybe you stand up, maybe you use the golf ball because you need a little bit more pressure. So going back and forth, spending just a few moments there. And then I like to roll forward and back, making sure to go on the inside edge and the outside edge of the foot, very slowly. The pressure is all determined on you. This is especially good if you've been wearing shoes, if you don't have the luxury of being barefoot like yoga teachers. We don't have to wear shoes a lot. So back and forth. And then the other thing that's really easy to remember is just go right to the heel. Digging in, working back and forth. If you've graduated from the pressure of a tennis ball, move up to the golf ball. There's really nothing harder than the golf ball. Maybe a marble, I don't know. So that is my trick for the feet. And it's the easiest of the ones to do. Now for those of you who have a foam roller, that's the other thing that I do. I like to work out kind of the whole body with the foam roller. A lot of people I find don't quite know what to do with them. They think, oh, it just hurts, so I don't want to do it. And it's true. If you haven't done it for a while, it's going to hurt a little bit more. The more often you do it, the less likely there is to be any significant, like, oh, that's really, really uncomfortable. But if you're tight, it will be. So the first way that I like to do it is to come and sit right on top of it. The other thing you might want to have handy are blocks, especially if your arms are a little bit shorter and it's a little bit harder to get to the ground. So you want to have them nearby just in case you need a little assistance with your arms. So then what I like to do is just sit, and you can go back and forth and work in your glutes. This is simple, just going back and forth. To work on your hips a little bit more, the outside edge, what you're gonna wanna do is, again, sitting up nice and tall, both cheeks are on the foam roller. You're gonna cross your ankle over your knee, so just above your knee, and you're gonna work into it this way. This is where you're gonna maybe wanna have a block so you can reach the ground a little bit easier, and then you're gonna lean into it a little bit more. So one of the tricks with foam rolling is you wanna keep moving. Sometimes you find one of those sticky spots, and it's okay to pause for a moment, but then you wanna release that, you wanna move away. So you're just gliding back and forth. The goal is not to find pain, it's not to become bruised. So if you find that you do this, and later you find bruises on your body, you've gone a little too deep, so ease back. After you find this a little bit more, you can move on to the hamstrings. Again, having the blocks handy here, you're gonna start to roll down the body to find the hamstrings. So from here, you're just gonna go back and forth. Now you can rest one foot down and work on one leg. You can do both at the same time, that's fine. It's kind of fun. And you're just working into the hamstrings a little bit. Again, resting one foot's fine. Again, be sure to do both sides of the body. I won't demonstrate all sides. And you can move down to the calves. For me, that's where I get really tight. Again, resting a foot down in front of the foam roller, having those blocks handy. I've brought the ground higher to me. I'm much more comfortable than if I was trying to reach the ground. And moving back and forth. And that, for me, will do it. The other option you have is to come down and be on top of it so that you start up on your legs. So you're gonna kind of straddle it like you do in a cat-cow position. And I like to start just above the knees, so not quite on the knees. And it also is helpful to have a carpet, a rug, something soft, because if your forearms get tired, you're gonna wanna stop. So bringing your forearms down, you're gonna find the ground. See if I can stay in the shot. And you can keep both legs right on it, going back and forth. I'm still here. And as you can see, my forearms are down, so if my forearms are uncomfortable, they're on wood, or on a hard surface, I'm probably gonna stop a lot earlier. Now this is a good time to start moving in, back and forth, working on those adductors inside, and just going back and forth, finding those sweet spots. They're usually closer to the hips or closer to the knees. And then the other option, to work into the IT band, that's what a lot of people use these for, is this IT band, so right on the side of the thigh, so this outside. For that, you can either bring some blocks and be up on the blocks, so the ground's closer to you, or you're once again gonna go onto the forearm, sit on the block so that you're on the side of the block. Coming down on the forearm, let me see if I can stay in the shot. And then you're gonna wanna be, so you're on this outside edge. For me, right now it's the left. So I take my right foot and I stick it in front as a little helper. And then I shoot that left leg long. That way I can control the pressure a little bit more. I'm using this leg to lift me up a little higher, rather than just coming right here. That is a lot of pressure. You don't need to do that. Use this leg to balance you out. And then I work in here. It's a little more tempting to pause. And then when you're ready, you switch sides. So those are my little tricks. Feel free to ask any questions in the comment section. But I hope that this gives you some inspiration for ending your day, doing a little bit of self-care. It is like a great big massage. But again, warnings: back away from extreme pain. You don't need to bruise yourself. You also don't have to do the foam roller. Start with the feet, see how that goes. And yeah, I hope that this inspires you, and continue on with the challenge. Thanks.